Joe Madison drops by to talk about the psychological effects of racism. Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel.
Somewhere in honor of Dr. King or to continue his work. So something good came out of the pandemic, because unlike you, we broadcast with our spouses. To tell the truth, Tom, we need to tell the truth. They run the show. So yeah. I know Louise runs it and Sherry runs it.
You're absolutely right, Joe.
So I just tell them, she's management, I'm labor. So
yep, same here.
But thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's my pleasure. So I think that your life and your experiences, sort of like those movies where they tell the story of an era through one person's perspective, you've been so deep in this so much of your life. I'd like to go through some of that, if that's all right with you. For example, as a young man, when did you first become aware of the civil rights movement, of the impact of racism in America? What was it like growing up when you were a child in America, and how did that help shape your work in the civil rights movement over the years?
Well, now let's be honest. I was impacted at the age of 5 years old when I saw a Jet magazine photograph of Emmett Till's body at his funeral, and I'm looking at this horror and going, what is that? And then even in that early stage, we used to go down to Clarksdale, Mississippi, where my grandfather was from, and I would spend summers with my cousins there, and that stopped in large part because of Emmett Till. And then let's just keep moving. Let's just keep moving forward. Where do you want me to go? To the riots, the revolts in the '60s, and
yeah. Well, let's start
like
there. We've got an hour. We've got plenty elbow room here. In the '60s, I was very involved in the anti-war movement. I believe, as a teenager, I believe you were very involved in the civil rights movement. Were you not?
Well, no, we were involved in both, because
Yeah.
But see, this is, you can't look. There's a difference. What you missed in what I said was a nugget of inferiority was planted in my mind at the age of 5. And that's what I think white America needs to understand. When you have to, Dr. King talks about this, having to explain to his young children why they can't swim in the public swimming pool, and then that seed of negativity is planted in that child's mind. As a child growing up in my neighborhood in Dayton, Ohio, and again, a child, Saturday morning, I remember this like it was yesterday. We would all gather, maybe we're 7, 8 years old. We would all gather at somebody's house and on a early Saturday morning and watch cartoons. And we'd be all watching one TV, but there'd be 4, 5, 6 kids. And I never will forget, next door neighbor, a white family, they were just the nicest people. But some uncle walked into the house and said, "Who are these little niggas on the rug?"
Whoa.
Wait a minute, you're 7 or 8 years old. So I'm not prepared today to jump from Emmett Till to my age at in college. But since you did, you have to remember. It was Muhammad Ali who brought to my attention and to a lot of our attention that the Vietnam War was a situation where young African Americans, sometimes if they got in trouble, the judge would give them a choice. Son, you can go to the Army, which means you'll end up in Vietnam, or you can go to jail. We often forget that young black inner city youth were drafted or sent to Vietnam disproportionately. So we ended up fighting on both fronts at the same time, which, by the way, if you recall, may have been one of the reasons that Dr. King was killed a year after his famous speech in 1967 about why he opposed the Vietnam War, because the resources that were used to fight the Vietnam War were taken primarily from many of the social programs that Johnson had invested in.
Yeah, remarkable stuff. We're talking with Joe Madison, host of the Joe Madison Show, weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on Sirius XM channel 126.